life is pants sometimes, isn't it? So why not dance?
We all wanna be good, good, good. Good neighbour.
We've got Maff Potts of Maff Potts and the Cameradoes. He has got loads and loads of experience working with the homeless, but while he noticed that even those homeless people that got housed, he would often find they would come back to him and be homeless again. And he realised that the reason was, it wasn't the house, it was the lack of community that they had. He believes without community, we're doomed, and he talks about this in his book that was published earlier this year called Friends and Purpose. It's been called the most important political book of the year by our producer, Alex, who's really good friends with Maff. So we don't have any bias on this show, but it does sound bloody good and I can't wait to hear about it. So tell us a bit more about Maff, Claire.
Well, Maff came up with a simple idea for building connection. People sitting around and chatting in a no-agenda space with no hot topics, no serious political discussion, but just talking about anything they like. He has supported a movement of people setting up these kind of no-agenda spaces all over the UK. And the organisation Cameradoes provides kits to people, basically a cardboard box. It's like a living room in a box. It's all the bits and pieces you need apart from the armchairs, so that people can make these spaces for connection wherever they are.
Debate is dead. Long live irreverent chats, tea and biscuits. Please welcome via Zoom, everybody, Maff Potts.
Hello.
Maff, where are you and what are you doing?
Well, it's important to bring you on fanfare to a gig, I thought. We'd have a bit of a knees up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that was so good. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be outside, but there's a bloody storm outside my window, so I'm inside, I'm afraid.
Oh, I love the colourful backdrop. You're matching us perfectly. Thank you so much.
So, Maff, tell us, first of all, when there's not a probably made much more likely by climate change storm that ruins your access to the outdoor world, what is public living room all about?
I wanted to show you today, and I had all my sofas and armchairs ready, and I had a space on my town common, but unfortunately nature had other ideas, so yeah, I'm afraid I've had to come inside, so sorry about that, but I put up loads of fairy lights and decorations just for you, Claire, because I love you. Yeah, well, the public living rooms are, you know, there are places popping up all over the world now in people's neighbourhoods, in hospitals, libraries, parks, colleges, primary schools, wherever. And it's places where people can just look out for each other. But the important thing is no agenda, no fixing, no solutions, no outcomes, no finger wagging. We just sit and have company because connection can be enough. And it's that first step just to bring people together. And yeah, we've got almost 300 now in 6 countries worldwide.
Wow.
It's such a good idea. I love it. And I love that you provide the kits for people to do that anyway. So anyone watching, if you'd like to host one, you can actually order a kit to do this yourself. Do you have any favourite stories from these living room sessions that you could share with us?
Yes, I have far too many. If only there was a book where you could read these stories. Well, there was a fella in Cardiff, and it's my favourite story in the book, although I've got a lot of favourites, but it was a fella called Paul, and he turned up and all he had was grey jogging bottoms on and a Tesco carrier bag full of beer. That was it. He was completely naked from the chest up. Half his ear was bitten off, and he had no teeth, really. Well, maybe a couple. And he said to me, Maff, he said, I won't lie. He said, I'm your basic nightmare on a Saturday night. He said, basically, I'm the fellow who causes the fight in the middle of town, and all the police come out, and he said, it's me, basically. I put all the windows in. And he said, but I haven't done that for a while. And I asked him why not, and he said, well, he said the other night he'd gone along to the night shelter to try and get a bed for the night, and he was very jolly, high-spirited, And he was a bit too high-spirited, and he was kind of making very loud jokes, and he upset a few people in the queue. So the night shelter manager kicked him out and said, "You're not getting to bed tonight." So he went off, and he said he was walking down the street, talking to himself, and he was really angry with himself. And he was shouting and sort of literally verbally shouting at himself. And some people outside a pub laughed, but they were probably laughing at their own joke. But in his head, they were laughing at him. So he went over, and as he said to me, "You know what happens next?" He said, "I caused a bit of a fuss. The blue lights were coming around the corner." He said, "I know how this is going to end up. I'm going to put a few people in A&E. I'm going to end up in the cells, court hearings, etc." Anyway, he said it didn't happen like that night, because the policeman who came out of the police car came towards him, put his arms out and said, "Paul, what's got you all in a tiz? Come here and have a hug."
Oh.
And Paul was telling us this story, and you could hear a pin drop. We all just leant in, and tears started to form in Paul's eyes. And he just said, he didn't have to say that, did he? He said, "Wasn't that lovely?" He said, "Well, it totally brought me right down." He said, and I went over and I gave him a hug, and we sat and we had a chat. And he said, "I haven't caused trouble since because I don't want to let him down." And I just think behaviour, it's a powerful weapon.
Oh, that's so lovely. What a lovely story.
Thanks, Maff. And so we've had conversations before, Maff, about your approach to supporting people and learning about what it is that people need when they're in like those dark times, when they're doing bad behaviours or when they're really, really in a dark place themselves. And if we find people struggling, suffering, lonely, isolated, what's your best advice about what people can do to help one another?
Well, over the 10 years we've been doing this, Claire, we've ended up finding out that people are weird. And so they come with baggage, and they don't just look out for each other, and they love hierarchies. And so actually what you have to do is you have to have these ideas to sort of just remind people that we're human and can look out for each other. We have it all in us. It's nothing new, but we have these principles, these 6 principles, and they just help you connect better and kind of drop the bullshit a bit and look out for each other. And the most powerful of the 6 principles by far in my book is if you see somebody struggling, ask them to help you rather than help them. And I got to tell you, Claire, it's absolute magic fairy dust stuff. It has never, ever failed. So I remember a lass called Beverly came into a public living room once, and she had like a pink hoodie on and jeans, and she had blood all down her hoodie because her husband had just thrown her down the stairs. And the ambulance men were going to take her to the pier because she asked to go to the pier because she wanted to jump off. But they had second thoughts, which was good, and they brought her to the public living room. And she came in the public living room, and I gave her 2 cups of tea, and I said, "Listen, love, I'm sorry you're having a rough day, but Colin in the corner, the old boy on the mobility scooter, he's really lonely. Could you take him a cup of tea and have a chat with him?" So Beverly, covered in blood, goes over to Colin, has a cup of tea. The 2 of them sit there. Within 10 minutes, Colin's telling her his bad jokes. She's laughing. When I came back that afternoon, Beverly's got an apron on, and she's making tea for everybody in the public living room. So without doubt, the most powerful idea is to say someone the 6 most powerful words in the English language. Can you do me a favour? Can you do me a favour? And it totally changes the dynamic, and people who are helpless and feel not trusted and not valued are suddenly trusted, valued, and they've got a sense of purpose, and they give you a hand and they feel good. Doesn't change everything in their life, but it just changes that dynamic in that moment. So I really encourage everybody to turn to someone and say, "Listen, I'm a bit lost. Can you give me directions here? Or, you know, can you help me with this? Or what's your advice about my kids?" You know, whatever. Just ask them a favour.
Amazing. So simple.
I think so. That's such good advice. Thank you so much. On a slightly more light-hearted note, can you tell me about your enormous underpants? Because I've heard that you can fit several people in them. And can you tell me how they've aided community bonding?
Well, it's funny, but would you believe, and I'm not joking, that this storm outside means that a tree has fallen down and I can't get to my office this morning. And in my office, I was going to bring some pants, and then I was going to stand up and show you my enormous pants. But unfortunately, I couldn't get to my office. Can you believe that? So we have Giant Silk Underpants, and we have hundreds of pairs. What we do is we dance in the street in them, and people say, what the hell are you doing? And you say, well, life is pants sometimes, isn't it? So why not dance? And so you get into a conversation about life being a bit pants. And it tends to work better than the sort of black and white charity porn that makes everybody feel shit about themselves, where we go, aren't people feckless, isn't the world awful? And everybody crosses the street because they don't want to have to face it. Or the link on Instagram that you don't listen to about Gaza, you know. So what we try and do is we engage people with enormous frilly pink underpants, and then they find it hilarious, and then we get into a conversation, and before too long we're talking about some fairly heavy stuff. But you meet people with humour. I devoutly believe that to be silly is to be human. And that's another one of our principles, is silliness is very important. And it's very serious. People think we're being, like, you know, kind of taking these issues and making light of them, but far from it. Far from it. I believe silliness is right next to hardcore, you know, tragedy.
Do people get a big pair of free Giant Underpants in your starter pack?
Well, funnily enough, we've just started putting them in the boxes. Yes, you do. Everyone will get one. And the great thing is it's big enough for 2 or 3 people to get in them. I mean, these pants are big. I mean, I'm talking big pants. And the nice thing is they're actually sewn by women who've come out of prison and haven't got any work. They're in Skelmersdale, and they make the pants from us from recycled material.
Maff, you are such a legend. It's so lovely to meet you, kind of, in this way. Thank you so much for joining us. And anyone that wants to know more about this, or indeed find Maff's book, please find it not on Amazon. It is on Amazon, but, you know, go somewhere else.
Can I tell you where to go and get it?
Say again, say again.
Well, there's an independent bookshop in my town, and I'd much rather everybody buys it from there. So if you go to Wallingford Bookshop, Helen will pop a post in the post for you, and it's £1 cheaper than Amazon. Thank God.
Yay.
Good old Helen.
Thanks so much, Maff. What I could speak to Maff all day. What a lovely man.